Welcome back. We're live from Omaha, Nebraska, and here at Borsheim's, which is a Berkshire Hathaway-owned company. It's one of 76 companies that they own. Berkshire Hathaway is about a $207 billion company run by Warren Buffett. And of course, everybody's descended on Omaha to come to the shareholder meeting, which starts tomorrow. This is a shareholder event at this jewelry store. But $75 billion of the company is a stock portfolio that Buffett has amassed. And the man who makes those trades go through in a first on Fox Business, right here with us, is John Freund of Citigroup, Buffett's broker. Nice to have you, John.
Thanks. Nice being here.
Oh, this is great. How does one become Buffett's broker?
By luck.
You are lucky.
Yeah, I am very fortunate. Very fortunate. I started originally with Solomon Brothers in 1970 in the St. Louis office, and that office covered Omaha, covered Nebraska. And I moved to Chicago in 74, and in 77 they closed the St. Louis office. And we got that territory back up in Chicago. And I came back in contact with Warren in that area, 77. And he wasn't really all that busy back then doing equities. He got more busy starting around 86, 87.
Yeah.
And I got reintroduced to Warren through a mutual friend who thought we should be talking more, and so I picked up coverage of Warren, and I've talked to him ever since.
Morning, noon, and night, as I understand
Correct.
it.
Yes. I've talked to him quite often before 7 a.m. in the morning. I've talked to him as late as midnight.
He calls and says, buy 1 million shares of.
Well, quite often we may have orders we're working. He wants to know what's going on around the world. And I'm talking with people maybe in Asia at nighttime or in London early in the morning.
And so he puts in trades and he says, I need to buy, let's just say Coca-Cola, of which he is a huge shareholder, 8% of the company he owns. But that is amazing to some people. It has to be super secret, does it not?
Yes, it is. Got to be super secret. Yeah. And, we have a great group in New York that, keeps all these things quiet. And they have to, they understand. And, there are ways that we mask what he's doing so people internally cannot find out.
Because when Warren Buffett buys a stock, it's almost like an endorsement of the highest level, and people rush into it, and that would ruin his shot at buying it later at a fair price, and he always buys at a fair price.
Correct. He's a very patient investor, and we take time buying things, we take time selling things. It takes a long time to get in and out of your stock. We rarely do large blocks of anything. It's working things all the time, constantly. And there are rumors that go out, and mostly the rumors of things that he's buying or selling are totally inaccurate. And
you're the one who's laughing to yourself because you're saying, where must they have gotten that?
Get calls all the time. They say, there's a rumor, and I said, well, I know nothing about rumors.
I don't know nothing about nobody. That's probably the line as Buffett's broker. Tell me about one of your most memorable trades. I remember you talking about a 4th of July once.
Well, one time I was going to go play tennis on the 4th of July, and Warren called me at 7:30 in the morning and said, I'd like to buy something overseas. It happened to be in London. And I said, Warren, there's nobody in. He says, I know, but he says, they don't celebrate the 4th of July in London. So, that afternoon, that night I got on the phone with somebody in London, and we started buying a particular stock that night.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and he doesn't care if it's a holiday. He's always thinking about the market. He has such wonderful vision about, he sees things that you and I would never see. Like he said when he read the PetroChina annual report, he knew right away he wanted to buy the stock. I could have read it and not have seen the same thing that he saw. He's got such wonderful vision, and he sees things well into the future, and he knows how to capitalize on it.
Therein, I think, lies the reason that most people come to the shareholder meeting. They want to hear what his vision is for the coming time. Has there ever been a time where he called you and said, buy this, and you're thinking, why does he want that? Far be it for us. But
yeah. They're quite often there are times. Matter of fact, without mentioning the country or the stocks, there was one time that we were buying some things overseas, and he called me and says, I really wish I knew what I was doing. And it's a true story.
Well, he recently bought a lot of railroad shares over the past year, and some people were saying, what is he doing? Isn't that an old and dying industry? And sure enough, the railroads just skyrocketed.
Well, that shows the vision that he saw something. Like Burlington Northern, I think, is probably up 25% year to date. Union Pacific's up probably close to that year to date. And, in today's market, that's wonderful returns. And he's been able to accomplish that year in and year out.
At the meeting, he takes questions, and this will be tomorrow's meeting, and we'll be live blogging it on foxbusiness.com. But many of these questions are repetitive. They got really repetitive in late 1999. Why aren't you buying internet stocks? They're doing so well. Why aren't you, Mr. Buffett, buying a lot of high-tech stocks? And he held firm. Nobody asks that question anymore after that implosion that we saw.
That's correct. Well, he's a value investor, and he thinks value in the end will win out. Number two, he's very patient, as we said, and he knows what he wants to buy, and he understands what he's buying. As he says, I don't want to buy internet stocks or technology stocks. I don't understand them. And he stays away from things he doesn't understand. He knows what he doesn't want to buy. That takes out a lot of things out of the market right away.
When did you know, after dealing with Warren Buffett for a couple of years back then, when did you realize this guy was something special?
Wow, you kind of know right away. He's very interesting. He is so smart and so intelligent, so personable, and he always has time. But the thing that really sticks out is that he really knows what he wants to do, and he's just got a clear vision all the time of what he wants to do.
Well, he loves you, and
Thank you.
After all these years, he says, Liz, John Freund is the guy whom I trust the very most. And it's fascinating because I sit there and I think, you get the call, and he says, hey, John, buy me this many shares. I mean, how does it actually work in those situations?
It works well, apparently.
Good, very well.
He calls and we discuss what the parameters might be. If he's buying, like when you mentioned the railroad stocks, when he was buying all three of them, we would try to see which ones were trading in line, and we would adjust depending upon price. What we might be buying on a given day. And if one was up more than another, we might stay away from those up, or one was down more, we might be more aggressive in that one. And it's also the overall tone of the market at a given point in time.
And again, as you said, you've got to kind of craft it so that it's in a way hidden and that the markets won't be tipped off. But he has special dispensation from the SEC, does he not? That he doesn't have to report certain buys until much later?
That is correct. That is correct. And other people have that too. If they can also apply for that, but very few people do. And the SEC may not grant it. They do not grant it to Warren and Berkshire in all instances either.
Interesting. So there are times where they say, no, you have to report it like everybody
that is correct.
else. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And what about you in the future for yourself? Do you just so enjoy being Buffett's broker that
well, I do
forever?
have other clients which have been very good to me, but Warren is one of my major clients, and I have a wonderful allegiance and alliance to him and to Berkshire. They're nothing but terrific people at the whole organization.
This event, does it surprise you every year that it grows and grows? As I understand it, you've turned down weddings and family events to always come to this meeting.
We have. This is my 20th. I had such a great time 20 years ago when I came out here. I went home and told my wife, and the past 19 years, Penny's joined me, and it's like family. Every time we come out, we see people we know, people we've met. It's like another reunion. And you've grown up with a lot of the people, and you've seen their kids grow up. It's just a wonderful event, and we hope to come back forever.
Have you seen any slowing down of this 77-year-old chairman and CEO of Berkshire in buying stocks, or is he?
He is so energetic. He makes everybody play at a higher level, and that's a very interesting comment because there are a lot of people you work with, and and they're fine. But when you deal with Warren, he's so intellectual and so smart, and he's so good that you want to play on a higher level all the time. And that keeps you sharp. It makes you want to learn. He's inquisitive, and it keeps you sharp. And everybody who works with him, I'm sure, feels the same way.
Oh, I would think so.
I'm very fortunate to have known him. He's surely changed my life.
John Freund of Citigroup, thank you very much for speaking to us first on Fox Business.
My pleasure. Thanks,
Liz. What else
Liz.
are you doing besides this event?
I have to follow my wife around while she shops.
You've got to protect her. I just met a guy on the floor here at Borsheims who took his wife's credit card away. He did. Oh, and by the way, there goes the diamond necklace. They took it off me because somebody wanted to buy it. Thank you very much. $440,000. They will do millions of dollars worth of business, David, here at Borsheims. It's unbelievable. They're selling $2 million pieces like they're nothing back there.
Yeah, what a shame. I tell you, your neck looked better with that diamond on it. You got to convince your husband. I'll call him up for you. By the way, the wonderful interview. What's fascinating anecdotes from a guy that made the trades for Warren Buffett. He not only knows how to buy, but remember, he sold PetroChina at the perfect, he knows how to sell at the perfect time as well.
Yeah, although Warren would say that he lost money selling a little bit early, but he made about $4 billion in profit on PetroChina when he sold that stock through John.
You can't be too
Freund,
sympathetic for him. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. A lot more to come from Liz.